So we're gonna look at my top 10 favorite Jerry Garcia guitar licks, but this is just my list and I chose them all for different reasons to highlight the many aspects of Jerry's playing. And if you've got your own favorites, definitely let me know in the comments down below so we can all learn and enjoy different aspects of his playing. And if you stick around for all 10, I got a little bonus surprise I know you're gonna like. So let's just jump right into it and listen to the first lick. I love that one. It's just such a catchy, kind of semi-Latin groove line, and everybody's got their little parts and these lines kind of weave in and out. So I just start off with that one. And some of the videos of Jerry that are out there, the video and audio quality can sometimes be a little poor. So for a lot of these licks, I'm going to play them myself, but we're going to kind of bounce around between myself and actual footage of Jerry. But this next one is something that's going to naturally progress from what we just heard. So let's check it out. So that one I'm playing on a wah, trying to emulate that auto-wah sound that Jerry does. And of course, there's nothing better than hearing him play it himself. But hopefully I can do a little justice trying to emulate that. I'm just a regular kind of wah player myself. And I love how that lick starts out slow and goes real fast and then kind of slows down and gives it a real kind of cool contrast. Now that one we were sticking with the same tune, it's something he would typically play a little later in the jam, and it was much higher up. It's got really kind of clear, catchy melody, and it adds a lot more intensity to it all. So that last one wasn't really as much of a lick as it is a riff, and it's got a little bit of everything. I had to include it. It's got some bass lines, it's got chords, and it's got a little melody on top all weaved together. And so far, all these tunes are from the same time period, so let's take it back a little further. So that one was so simple. It's just rocking those country bends that Jerry did so well, and I had to put that in there because that's a big part of his sound, And that one I love because he's picking really close to the bridge, and it gives you this really kind of thin sound that he would occasionally do, and it kind of just mixes up that kind of timbre and stuff. Now, so far everything's been electric, but let's not forget about his great acoustic playing. So I love this descending line he does there, and what's so great about it is he plays it on the vocal melody. You can really hear that if you hear the whole solo. It's something that he did so often, and that one he was just basing it right around the melody. And a lot of Jerry's playing isn't really lick-based, even though we're making a list of licks here. He's more of a feel-based player and a very overall melodic player. So let's look at an example that just has a longer phrase. I love that one because it really highlights this 16th note pattern going real fast, and then it slows down, so it kind of gives this kind of call and response feel. And he's also highlighting the major seventh a lot, which gives it that real jazzy sound, which they kind of got into from like 74 through the rest of the 70s. So that was taken from Jerry Garcia Band, and I think some of his best playing wasn't just with the Grateful Dead. He had so many great side projects, and that one really highlighted his kind of playfulness and this humor that and this personality that he really puts in there. And I think it's a good thing to keep in mind that he wasn't just a lick-based player, but he really put his personality into his playing. And it's a problem with a lot of players is they just want to learn licks and just make carbon copies. And I know we're making a list here, but we got to keep in mind it's more important to just put yourself in there. And some people get afraid of that people aren't going to like it. But you just got to put your own personality into your playing and not care what other people think, you know? So that was another great one using Ottawa, and one thing that's really unique about it is it's in 7/4, so it goes around every 7 beats, and it's just real funky sound using the minor pentatonic lick. And that is the 10 we've got, but it was so hard for me to narrow down to this 10. We got an extra 5. That is right, no extra charge, 50% more. But really, it was so challenging for me to whittle it down to just 10. So we're gonna do an extra 5. So let's just jump right into the next one. So that last one was in real contrast to the previous one, and it was really highlighting kind of a rockabilly, old school sound that Jerry would often do. And this next one is not going to be a lick, it's actually going to go through the whole chorus of a tune 2 times to highlight something a little different. So that was another Jerry Garcia band one, covering a Dylan tune, and you know, I couldn't just do one lick because it really was about him again playing around the vocal melody, and I wanted to highlight kind of that whole thing. And it also had that kind of later delay sound he'd have in there that really made this big expansive sound. He'd also do these little chromatic pull-offs, which are just really typical to his playing from that time period. Now that one was really taking it out there, and I just love the frenetic energy, even playing so fast, and it sounds like he's just kind of floating on top of the rest of the band, which is really unique, you know? Now that one had a real attitude to it, you know? It was like really kind of bluesy sound, and it really kind of was like buttoned up against the rest of the band, really taking it out there with some high energy. I love that one. Now, another one from the same tune to end this list here, that is what I call a chord frenzy, and Jerry would often do that to end his solos. He'd just be playing these different voicings of the chords, a lot of times high up, just going crazy with his pick hand, and that just brought the energy up to a big peak. Now, if you want a more detailed breakdown of some of these licks and many more, including the tabs, check out this playlist right here that I have for my Signature Lick series. Or if you just want to know what any guitarist can learn from Jerry Garcia, check out this video here. Also, let me know in the comments down below, what are some of your favorite Jerry Garcia guitar licks that you have that I didn't include in my list?